The common man is essential to society, yet women treat him so poorly today that he no longer feels compelled or invested enough to risk his life for them. Why should he protect those who show disdain for him? The issue lies in how women have become so disrespectful that the average man has no interest in defending them at all. If he had a wife, children, and a home in a stable, secure environment, he might be willing to protect it. But finding a wife who respects him is nearly impossible. Even if he does find one, she may constantly belittle him, making him indifferent. If he doesn't feel like a king in his own home, how could he possibly feel like one anywhere else? In today's society, these lone wolves, those who walk away from traditional relationships, are doing so at an alarming rate, leaving many people bewildered. But why is this happening? Is it due to bitterness, a fear of commitment, or is there something deeper at play? According to research published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, significant societal shifts in relationships have contributed to an increase in individuals opting out of traditional dynamics, with Sigma males leading this movement. Here's the surprising part. It's not that Sigma males are incapable of love or connection. In fact, they value deep, meaningful relationships. The problem is that modern relationships, with their unspoken expectations, unnecessary drama, and constant demand for validation, simply do not align with their core values. They won't sacrifice their independence or compromise their authenticity just to conform to societal expectations. This isn't about giving up on people. It's about reimagining what genuine connection truly means. Sigma males are rejecting shallow, surface-level relationships in favor of solitude or purpose-driven companionship. They're not running away from love, they are moving towards something greater: freedom, self-growth, and mastery of their own lives. In this video, we'll explore the reasons why Sigma males are stepping away from relationships, why this is more than just a passing trend but a profound shift in the way people relate to one another, and what this shift reveals about modern connections. If you've ever felt like modern relationships are more about effort than fulfillment, you're not alone. This video might provide the insight you've been searching for. Let's dive in. Reason number 1. The disillusionment with modern gender dynamics. Sigma males have become increasingly disillusioned with the evolving and often conflicting gender dynamics that dominate modern society. In previous generations, there was a clearer understanding of the roles men were expected to play within relationships. These roles, whether as protectors, providers, or emotionally stoic leaders, gave men a sense of purpose and direction. Many men derive deep satisfaction from fulfilling these roles, knowing that their efforts were valued and understood within the structure of their relationships. However, in today's rapidly shifting world, those traditional roles have been appended, creating a confusing and frustrating environment for men, particularly for Sigma males. The modern gender narrative is a contradiction. Society expects men to be emotionally available, nurturing, and supportive, offering empathy and vulnerability to their partners. At the same time, men are still expected to embody the traditional roles of being providers and protectors, strong, self-reliant figures who carry the weight of responsibility for their loved ones. For many Sigma males, this presents an almost impossible challenge. The pressure to meet both of these seemingly opposing expectations is overwhelming. They are asked to balance being emotionally expressive and supportive, while still carrying the burden of providing financially and protecting their loved ones in a world that often undervalues these roles. From the Sigma male perspective, the traditional understanding of masculinity has been distorted to the point of confusion. The expectations placed on them are so contradictory that it becomes difficult to discern what is truly expected of a man in a relationship. Sigma males are expected to be both tender and tough, expressive and stoic, engaged and distant. The idea that a man must constantly prove his worth, whether through emotional openness or material success, feels like a never-ending game, one that does not align with the Sigma male's innate desire for authenticity and self-sufficiency. The shifting nature of gender roles means that men can never quite be sure if they're doing enough or doing it right. They're often left wondering if they're living up to society's ever-changing standards or simply being used as a tool to fulfill someone else's idea of what a man should be. Moreover, the demand for vulnerability is not seen as a natural progression in a relationship, but as a set of expectations that men must meet in order to be considered good enough. The push for men to express their emotions is often viewed with skepticism. If a man shows too much vulnerability, he risks being seen as weak, overly sensitive, or unable to handle the pressures of being a provider. But if he suppresses his emotions, he's labeled as emotionally unavailable, distant, or uncaring. This trap is exhausting and disheartening, especially for Sigma males, who are naturally inclined to maintain control over their emotions and personal space. They are not driven by the need to constantly prove their worth or demonstrate that they can be everything to everyone. They value their peace, independence, and emotional autonomy far more than they value the fleeting approval of societal standards. For Sigma males, the result of these evolving and contradictory gender dynamics is a profound sense of disillusionment. They are not opposed to relationships. Rather, they are repelled by the idea of being forced to wear a mask to meet ever-changing expectations. They see modern relationships as arenas where personal authenticity is sacrificed for conformity. The pressure to meet societal demands on masculinity while also being a perfect partner leaves them feeling like they are being asked to be someone they are not. For Sigma males, it is not a matter of rejecting intimacy or companionship, but rejecting the notion that relationships must come with a predetermined set of rules and roles that infringe on their identity. They would rather remain alone and true to themselves than lose their sense of self in a relationship that requires compromise of their integrity or peace of mind. Ultimately, Sigma males opt out of relationships not because they lack the capacity for love, but because they value their autonomy and authenticity far too much to live by someone else's script. They refuse to conform to a version of masculinity that demands their emotional energy, time, and identity be reshaped into something they are not. This rejection of the modern narrative on gender roles is not an act of rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It is a statement of self-respect and a refusal to participate in a system that no longer serves their needs. For Sigma males, relationships are about mutual respect, shared values, and true companionship, not about fulfilling someone else's idea of what it means to be a man in the modern world. Until they find that, they remain steadfast in their pursuit of personal freedom, emotional integrity, and authentic living. Reason number 2, the relentless need to protect their freedom. For Sigma males, their independence is far more than just a personal preference. It is a fundamental part of who they are. Over the years, they've carefully cultivated their autonomy, honed their skills, and built a life that resonates with their deepest values and desires. The thought of sacrificing any part of that freedom is unfathomable to them. In many relationships, dependence begins to form naturally. Partners start relying on each other for emotional support, validation, and even a sense of purpose. However, Sigma males don't need someone else to feel complete. They are already whole. They are not looking for someone to fix them or change who they are. They seek a partner who will respect their individuality and celebrate their independence rather than challenge it. The underlying fear for Sigma males is the loss of themselves in a relationship. They've witnessed it too many times. Someone falls in love, only to give up their goals, their personal passions, and even their friendships just to sustain the relationship. For Sigma males, that's a path they refuse to walk. They are fiercely protective of their autonomy and are not willing to compromise it for anyone or anything. They want a relationship that enhances their life, not one that demands they lose themselves in it. Reason number 3, societal pressures and unrealistic expectations. Let's confront a critical issue that shapes many Sigma males' views on relationships: society's endless and contradictory expectations of men. They are told to be romantic yet not overly emotional, to be strong but also vulnerable, to provide and protect while remaining emotionally present. It's an overwhelming list of demands that makes no sense to a Sigma male, and they have no interest in fulfilling these contradictory roles. Sigma males aren't interested in conforming to society's imposed standards, especially when it comes to relationships. The idea that they must be someone's hero, savior, or provider doesn't resonate with them. They don't care for the image of the knight in shining armor. They'd much rather embrace their role as the lone wolf who follows his own path without feeling the need to live up to anyone else's expectations. This rejection of societal norms often leads to misunderstanding and judgment. Sigma males are frequently labeled as cold, selfish, or commitment phobic. But in truth, they are simply being honest with themselves and others. They won't pretend to be something they are not just to meet others' expectations, even if it means facing harsh criticism. Adding to the challenge is the unrealistic portrayal of relationships in the media, fairytale romances and idealized love stories that set people up for disappointment. Sigma males see through these illusions. They know that real love isn't about grand gestures, romantic cliches, or perfect fairy tale endings. True love, to them, is about mutual respect, shared values, and unconditional support. They understand that real connections are built on authenticity, not on empty fantasies. Reason number 4. Modern relationships have become a prison of expectations. Sigma males have a clear perspective on modern relationships. They've evolved into systems of control, rather than genuine emotional connections. For a man who values his autonomy above everything, the modern relationship dynamic often feels like a suffocating trap. The expectation to constantly check in, explain his actions, or fit into someone else's preconceived narrative creates a sense of being confined, rather than liberated. Take a moment to consider the reality of today's relationships. They're riddled with unspoken rules, instant responses to messages, an obligation to share every minute detail of your life, and an ongoing need to demonstrate affection. For Sigma males, this constant monitoring and validation feel more like a contractual obligation than a meaningful partnership. They're not opposed to relationships, they're simply against the overwhelming neediness and dependency that often come with them. They seek a partner who understands the importance of independence, someone who respects personal space and time without making it feel like a demand. Moreover, Sigma males are deeply committed to maintaining their individuality. Many people lose themselves in relationships, compromising their hobbies, aspirations, and sense of self in the process. Sigma males, on the other hand, are steadfast in their refusal to sacrifice their core beliefs, purpose, or solitude for the sake of any connection. In a world fixated on public displays of affection and the validation offered by social media, they yearn for something more grounded and authentic. Depth is far more important to them than superficial drama or constant power struggles. If they cannot find a relationship that aligns with these principles, they'd much rather stay alone. This stance isn't rooted in selfishness, it's about self-respect. Sigma males understand that a healthy relationship should add value to their life, not drain them emotionally or spiritually. They recognize their worth and are not willing to compromise it in order to fit into a societal mold of what a relationship should look like. If it doesn't align with their values and purpose, they simply won't engage. Reason number 5. The shallow, superficial nature of modern dating. In today's dating world, it often feels as if relationships have become little more than a game, one where authenticity and real connection have been replaced by shallow interactions and mind games. With the rise of swipe culture, ghosting, and temporary situationships, many modern relationships lack the depth and emotional resonance that Sigma males seek in their connections. Sigma males are old souls, craving genuine bonds built on meaningful conversations, shared values, and emotional depth. They aren't interested in fleeting encounters or surface-level interactions. But in a digital world dominated by dating apps that reduce individuals to mere profiles and images, the essence of true connection gets lost. Sigma males see past the carefully curated photos, clever bios, and the ongoing pursuit of likes and validation. They can easily detect the superficiality and aren't willing to waste their time sifting through the noise of shallow engagements. This doesn't mean that Sigma males are opposed to connection. They deeply value true, meaningful relationships. But they understand that authentic connections aren't formed through one-night flings, casual encounters, or the endless back and forth of texting games. Real relationships, in their view, are built on trust, mutual respect, and shared life goals. They're not looking for instant gratification or temporary fulfillment. They want lasting, purpose-driven relationships that align with their vision of the world. Sigma males are also incredibly intuitive, able to sense when someone is being disingenuous or playing games. They have little tolerance for manipulation, drama, or the exhausting cycle of push and pull dynamics that are so prevalent in modern dating. For them, love should be simple, effortless, and natural, not something that feels like a constant battle of wills. Rather than participating in the chaos of modern dating culture, they opt out. They focus their energy on their passions, ambitions, and personal growth, knowing that when the right connection comes along, it will feel authentic and fulfilling. Until then, they're perfectly content with their own company, knowing that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Reason number 6. Fulfillment comes from within. The ultimate reason why many Sigma males are stepping away from relationships is that they no longer need them to feel fulfilled. Unlike many people who seek out relationships for love, validation, or purpose, Sigma males have already found those things within themselves. They have built lives rich with passion, purpose, and personal satisfaction. Whether through their career, hobbies, or constant self-growth, Sigma males have filled their lives with things that bring them joy and fulfillment. Relationships, while meaningful, are no longer the primary source of happiness or self-worth for them. They have found a deeper satisfaction in pursuing their own passions and aspirations, and the thought of compromising that for a relationship that doesn't align with their values feels unappealing. This doesn't mean that Sigma males are against love, far from it. However, they are not willing to sacrifice the life they've carefully crafted for a connection that doesn't bring value or purpose. They're not in a rush to settle down. Instead, they wait patiently for the right person to come along, someone who will enhance their life, not disrupt it. Until then, Sigma males are content to focus on themselves and their personal journey. What Sigma males have come to understand is that the most meaningful love story isn't with another person, it's with their own growth, freedom, and authenticity. They're rewriting the rules of what it means to live a fulfilling life, and their choice to step away from traditional relationships is not an act of rebellion, but an act of profound self-respect. In a society that often measures success and happiness by the status of one's relationships, Sigma males have chosen to step off that conventional path. They prioritize freedom, self-authenticity, and purposeful living above all else. Their decision to opt out of traditional relationship norms is not just about them, it's a reminder to everyone that it's okay to challenge societal expectations, to ask yourself what you truly want, and to live your life according to your own values, rather than what others think you should want. Reason number 7. The fear of emotional vulnerability and manipulation. Another significant reason Sigma males shy away from relationships is the fear of emotional vulnerability and the potential for manipulation. These men, who value their emotional independence, often see being in a relationship as a risk to their mental and emotional well-being. In a world where emotional manipulation has become far too common, many Sigma males fear they will become targets of people seeking to exploit their emotions. Whether through guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or passive-aggressive behavior, the modern relationship landscape is riddled with tactics designed to control and dominate. For Sigma males, the emotional investment required in a relationship is not something they take lightly. They have learned to build emotional walls to protect themselves from being hurt or taken advantage of. They know that in some relationships, emotions can be used as leverage, and they would rather be alone than risk having their feelings manipulated. This wariness is especially prevalent in today's dating culture, where superficiality and instant gratification often overshadow true emotional connection. For Sigma males, this shallow emotional engagement only serves to reinforce their belief that modern relationships are more about emotional games and power struggles than genuine connection. To avoid these pitfalls, Sigma males choose solitude or form relationships that are built on clear mutual understanding and respect. They are not closed off to love, but they remain cautious, carefully selecting who they allow into their emotional world. They need to feel secure in the authenticity of a person's intentions before they allow themselves to become vulnerable. If you found this video insightful or relatable, why not join our growing community? Subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the mindsets, traits, and behaviors of Sigma males. Your engagement helps us dive deeper into these unique perspectives. Be sure to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Remember, as a Sigma male or someone inspired by their path, staying true to yourself is the ultimate strength. Keep evolving, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.